A story that we've been following for quite some time, China scooping up all of this farmland in the United States. We thought with the national furor it was causing, particularly in Washington, where some legislators were trying to clamp down on it, problem would be solved or in the process of being solved. Not according to my next guest, John Boyd Jr., back with us, the National Black Farmers Association president. He's in Boynton, Virginia. So, John, this is not going away, is it?
It's not. And China is quietly buying up many acres and farms in rural America. And I've been trying to ring the alarm bell about this. And as that report showed, how China is setting up companies to build plants next to military bases to tap into our nation's infrastructure. And this administration seems to be asleep at the wheel here. While we're losing farms, this administration hasn't done anything to stop farm foreclosures in this country. We have many of our members who right now are facing farm foreclosure, but we had $1 billion to help Chinese farmers and other entities in Russia. So here we are allowing these persons, the Chinese government, to purchase American farms, but we can't go to China and buy their farms. We can't go to China and set up American companies and buy their real estate there, but they can come over here and purchase our farmland and purchase our infrastructure and tap into the American government here. Something is terribly wrong with this. And this administration, the Biden administration, again, is asleep at the wheel, and they're not taking an aggressive approach to take on China. And we really need someone in the White House that's going to have the tenacity and the whereabouts to take on China.
What are they doing, John? What are they doing? Well, one thing we've heard your campaign and campaigns like yours have actually prompted the Chinese to speed up these investments. But to what end? I know in some cases it's to be near U.S. military establishments, but far from even most of those purchases are. So what are they after?
You know, I've seen many Chinese organizations at farm auctions. So they'll have someone there bidding on the farms, and persons like myself who can maybe pay $4,000 or $5,000 an acre. Some of these farms are being run up to $15,000 and $20,000 an acre.
Wow.
Now, how many American farmers that you know in the United States can afford $20,000 an acre for good farm ground? Because I can't. So it's my opinion that Chinese operatives should not be able to purchase United States farm ground from American farmers. Quite frankly, it should be illegal because we can't go to their country and do it. But they're allowed to come here to America to set up these companies. They bought Smithfield Foods. And for people who don't understand how significant that is, they're tapping into the American food structure in this country. And we should be looking at that as food security, people, because they're tapping into American farms and tapping into the hog industry. All of these industries that China is quietly taking over here in the United States, and we're not aggressively taking on some sort of campaign to stop it.
Do they take the food then that they have now in the United States back to China for their people? Do they resell it in the open market, even to us? What are they doing?
They're taking that, yes, they're taking the food back to China, such as soybeans, such as pork. And they're setting up these companies right here in the United States. And for people who understand, companies like Smithfield Foods that buy grain from American farmers, where they buy corn, wheat, and soybeans, and they're taking this grain back to China. So we really need to take a hard look. And for those persons on Capitol Hill, our U.S. senators and leaders in Congress, they need to put legislation in place to stop China from buying American farm ground and to stop them from buying American companies and taking over the United States. They're quietly putting a real strong foothold in the United States, and we're not doing enough to stop this.
Yeah, ironically, in the middle of all this tension between our two countries, maybe because of that. John Boyd, thank you very much. You're one of the few voices out there warning Americans about this and our politicians. John Boyd Jr., we'll follow this story as we always do, because it doesn't seem like there's any quid pro quo going on. All advantage, all China, all the time. We can't do what they're doing here in their country.